So thank you everybody for joining. This is really exciting to have Kiran to be our first host of the AI Skills Sprints. We're hoping to started a 4-week series. So each week we will be building knowledge foundations around some of the hottest topic and most popular topic and skills around AI. So this is part of the AI enthusiast community and AI community learning program powered by Microsoft Teams. We're really honored to have Kiran, who was former speakers, as well as our beta participants, to teach us something really important, Agentic AI. And so this is session number 2. Pema in a moment will share about recordings from previous session, as well as from today's session. The idea is that you will complete a survey or questionnaire assessment that Kiran designed at the end of each session. So then you can get a certificate for completion of this week's module. So just be on the holdout for when we share that in the chat. All right, Kiran, off to you.
All right. Thank you. And I'm so excited. This is session 2. Uh, I'm assuming that some of you attended my session 1, where we just started on agentic AI, and the aim of this series is to start from scratch. Some of you might already be aware of some of the things, but I'm hoping that whoever is non-technical and trying to get into agentic AI, maybe it's a good way of getting started. And I'm hoping we will start today with a simple agent. And while it is not just about building, I think we are going to touch upon some foundational concepts so that you will be putting those basics before you move on ahead with advanced stuff. So laying the foundations strong is very important. That's personally what I believe, and that's what I am aiming for with this series. So, in the very first session, we just covered what is agentic AI, and I also gave a quiz, and some of you have responded. You will be getting a badge. Thanks to Shivi and Padma for arranging that. It's really good because it tests like immediately after you attend the session, if you recap what you have learned and answer those questions, I think it helps you with some of the things. And if you have any questions, you can check back, ask ChatGPT as well for any questions. And hopefully, after today's session as well, if you have any questions, I might answer how much I can. But if I'm unable to answer anything, ChatGPT is your friend. All right, a little bit about me for those who are attending today as the first session. I have around 20 years experience in the software industry. I've worked in workflows in the past, so that helps me with agentic AI as well. And I'm trying to leverage AI to remove some pain points in the product operations side. And recently, I've started my own little club called Kaleido Club and trying to provide hands on workshops how to leverage AI. Before we proceed, a small disclaimer that we are trying to use no code or low code tools. Today, I think we will start with N8N. They are providing 2-week free trial, and 2 weeks is very less to be honest, but still to get started, I think it's a good one. And they also offer 100 credits, free credits for OpenAI models, not every model, but 3 of the models, which I think you could use one of them for AI agents. And the agenda for today is brief introduction to what is an AI agent and also an agent platform. Again, this is not some N8N resource or some, I'm not trying to encourage you to pursue N8N only, but this platform is really easy for picking up some things, agentic AI. That's why I chose N8N. But otherwise, there are other platforms which might not be no code. So let's start with N8N for that reason. And we will also build very first agentic workflow as your personal assistant. Again, These are some personal assistance because we don't want to develop something that is actually production level, and because there are high risks. And in the slides, I think you will come across that point as well. Finally, we will also reflect on the learning plan for Agentic AI workflows. So this is beginner series, and you have a journey to take after this beginner series. And hopefully you will be able to learn things by yourself from the resources on YouTube, but this should give you a good starting point. Okay, let's start. So what is an AI agent? I'm sure most of you are completely aware of what all these terms are, but still, for those who are relatively new, I'm still going to speak a little bit on that. Traditional software, we know that we give some input, it takes some arguments, it processes something, gives some output. That output is very deterministic, and we know what kind of input we send, what output we get. But with the LLMs, especially the models that are evolving and all, like there are tons of other possibilities beyond just like executing some logic. The LLMs are giving some capabilities like they can do some thinking, planning, setting goals, and stuff with prompt engineering. So it's not just about processing the traditional software way. The AI agents would actually help you to set goals, what you want to achieve, and they can actually do their own planning if we guide them how to plan. They can reflect if something they are doing it right or wrong, also take some actions. Actions in the sense, you can, previously we used to take actions manually, but now we can autonomously ask the agents to take some actions. Finally, they can respond back in a way that we want, in a structured output manner. All these things are possible now because of the large language models and the integration of different tools. So that is why we are entering into the AI agent era. In the past, these were not possible, but with LLMs, tool integration, and all, these are becoming very much possible this time. And the LLMs are acting like brains for these AI agents. And there are tons of models that are there in the market. For this session, I'm going to touch upon a few OpenAI models, especially GPT-4o Mini, and also there will be some tools. Basically, if you have worked in a software company, like, you would be familiar with the backend side of things, where the backend teams would be working on APIs, and especially for working with APIs, you would use tools like Postman or some other tools where you would provide some specific instructions to execute the APIs. But now the tools like N8N are providing a small, easily digestible user interface. I mean, we can actually use those APIs in our applications. And in an AI agent node, we can actually integrate easily. And these APIs and all, like every company might be having their own APIs. The possibility of actually connecting to external APIs has become even more easier these days because they are exposing it to external world. It's not just APIs, you could also call functions written in JavaScript or Python, and you can connect to databases. And finally, all these agentic actions, they would be carrying out for some time, like repeating some of the things, like remembering what's going on in the previous action and such things. So there is something called short-term and long-term memory. So all these components actually make an AI agent, and that help it to plan, reason, act, and achieve goals that we set. I hope everything is all right so far, my screen and everything.
Yep.
All right, cool. So the models, large language models and reasoning, other models, like they can do planning, like I said, thinking, reasoning, summarization, transformation, tagging. These all capabilities are relatively like they come with their own complexity, in the sense some are like planning is a complex thing. Tagging is a very easy thing. So small models can come up and provide you tagging facilities or transformation, summarization things. But you need high-end models where they can plan, think, and reason. So with the models, like you would have some of them offered for free, some are for paid versions, and the paid also like very costly for, I mean, not everyone can afford it. But the thing is, like the more high end the models are, it would be expensive, and they would also provide, because they provide high quality services, and they can handle highly complex solutions, like highly complex tasks. So for this reason, we have a very huge range of models, and ranging from very basic to complex tasks. Like for the basic tasks, you could use very lightweight LLMs like Mistral GPT 3.5, and for mid-tier tasks, like you could use for multi-step reasoning, you could use Claude or GPT 3.5 Turbo with tools. And for very highly complex planning related tasks, you could use high-end models like ChatGPT 4 Turbo or Claude Opus Gemini 1.5 Pro. So these are just some examples of the models, but like every model has some kind of capability that sometimes you might not need, or maybe sometimes you need it, especially what you're trying to achieve. So whenever you are choosing any models, you need to consider whether it is providing the capability that you are looking for. Otherwise, if you use any model, you might either be wasting the tokens, or you might be like over engineering, or you might be using a lightweight LLM where you need a heavy model, uh, and it doesn't serve you the purpose. It doesn't meet your expectations when it comes to the final outcomes. So, and whenever you're choosing models or building the AI agents, like there are certain very basic things you need to check. Why are you using AI agents? You need to have some benefits. At least consider these few benefits, like you are saving time, like boosting speed in delivering some things. Definitely you can see that if someone is saying in 1 week we are saving 10 hours, or one day you are saving like half an hour, it's like improving your productivity. There is a time benefit. Yes, I think you can consider some things like that. Also the impact, if something is like especially they are reliable and highly scalable, you can actually have a very positive impact because of agentic capabilities. You could consider building them. Or it could be like you are actually saving some money. uh, I don't know, this is a bit controversial, like using the AI resources instead of the human resources. I don't know, things are going that way. Let's not get into that debate, but maybe for saving money or making more money or revenue, like if that is what you're looking for, then yeah, that's definitely a benefit. Finally, efficiency, like you are trying to do something much more efficiently with less effort and are able to make better decisions. Some things, especially data heavy things, you might not be able to analyze them quickly, but AI agents can help you give insights far thoroughly, and you can make better decisions. I think you could use AI agents. So basically, you first consider, why are you considering an AI agent? Do you have any benefit? Not just for the sake of building it. Um, and your learning journey, it starts anyone. I mean, I think these tools have evolved over the couple of years, and everyone at some point have started learning. Someone has started earlier, maybe some are starting now. It's okay as long as you are starting, and initially you are doing it yourself. DIY, do it yourself. It might feel like a steep hill of learning, but I think you cannot avoid it. The sooner you get into it, the better for you, so that you can progress ahead. Not just like thinking about competition from others, but for your own sake, like you might be improving your own productivity. So think it that way. And as you go into intermediate level, like you can do things with others, like done with you, you can provide support to other people with your knowledge. And you can, instead of working solo, you could expand if you are trying to become big. That's also possible with intermediate skills. And if you are advanced, you can build solutions. Maybe if you have $1 billion idea, you can dream about making it work out, and you can do it for others, done for you. And it might seem magical for others, but you know what effort you have put in building those, and identifying the things necessary for building the agents. um, Finally, I want to actually want to highlight that you are at the beginner phase, and we are taking very low risk applications, starting with, I'm going to cover a little bit of classic automation where I will be sending emails to especially the skill sprint participants. I can walk through that. And we will also cover agent that helps you do some personal things. These are low risk applications at the beginner level, and no code with NI10. And like I said, AI is probabilistic. And once you feel comfortable, hopefully after this series, after the final session, you should be able to explore things on your own. There are tons of resources, YouTube, as well as the platforms are also providing community resources. You can actually slowly look into low code, experiment with small logic, and if you are really a bit techy, you can proceed further advance to pro code tools. Taking medium risk, like if you are working in a company, try to find some applications where you could kind of automate initially and then find if AI agents are necessary, and plan in that way, and experiment with these evolving platforms. I think there are people who are actually building them, and maybe they are doing great, but I think, in my honest opinion, the platforms are still evolving. It's not like they are perfect either. So you can take medium risk and explore and learn. I think this is the right time for you all. Finally, I just want to give you a small, it's not like mm, a scary thing, but be mindful of the high risk things, because everyone says like it's magical and all that. But with the high risk, we still need to use human judgment, regardless how powerful the tools and platforms are. I just want to, before I jump into this actual uh, demo, let me just play a small video to, I hope you can hear the.
I'm the great Houdini, and it's an honor to be auditioning at the Magic Castle. Could I borrow your watch, sir? Sure.
Can you hear the audio?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. Ooh, Rolex. Fancy. I'll get it right back to you. Observe one very expensive watch, one wooden mallet. Do I dare? I do. Would you be amazed if your watch survived that pounding? I think you would. Behold!
All right. So basically, I want to say that there is risk, and especially in production, if you're trying to use something, there are tons of other things that we as humans, like, we need to make our judgment calls. Otherwise, I think at some point we will listen to these stories like what happened, but just be mindful about that. So, we are building AI agents intentionally. First of all, if you can automate something, try to automate them. And then if you hit a wall, try to see, is it because you want some agentic capabilities, understand what is needed for building the AI agents, and evaluate. Not every model is fit for everything, so evaluate what model you need and what tools you want to integrate and what are the platform needs. You need to do this early on. Finally, experiment with free low code solutions before you actually go for paid solutions. So this is what my plan is, and I'm going to start with NA10. Do you have any questions so far with the slides, or shall I move on with this? Are we good?
Yep.
All right, cool. So there is this NA10 platform where you would actually go to get started, and you could kind of register using your login. I'm currently already logged in. I registered for mine just a couple days back so that I have my setup. This is not
Kiran,
a, yeah,
I think Shruti is having a question.
okay. All right. Let me just if you want, you can ask on, directly as well.
Sure.
Uh,
Thank you, Padmarchana. Thanks, Kiranmayee, for the wonderful presentation. I had this question around the multi-step reasoning that you were referring to and strategic planning. Um, let's say you're taking an example of building a product, right? What exactly are you referring to when you talk about multi-step reasoning and strategic planning? Is the strategic planning referring to the, whole strategy, product strategy that we, talk about?
no, I'm not talking at that product level. I'm talking about a task level at a very basic, like you're trying to achieve something. Let's
Mm-hmm.
suppose you want to actually do some, send an email. Now, before you
Mm-hmm.
actually send an email, you would actually find out who are your recipients, get the registered email addresses, and you would find out what should be the email content, and then you would see that if there is any information that needs to be populated in that, and then finally after you are happy with that, then you would actually send out the email. Even sending a small email could have
Mm-hmm.
different steps involved, and this is like in an AI agent, when you're trying to achieve something, there could be little small steps to be done before you actually get the output out of it. So I'm
Mm.
talking about that kind of reasoning and planning at an AI agent level. I'm not talking about product strategy here.
Okay, got it, got it. And if you have to differentiate the two, because you
Mhm.
were mentioning about the different set of tools that you can use, like mid-tier LLMs, if it's a multi-step reasoning that's involved, versus strategic planning, then a high-end model, right? If you
Mhm.
could differentiate the two, how would you do so? Like the multi-step reasoning versus strategic planning.
So I would say this is a little bit more advanced. I mean, I'm talking at a small agentic level where we are taking multiple steps. And if you're talking about a very high level product strategy, within the product strategy, you would be having like a target audience, or like the problem and space. Like you would have multiple sections, right? How would you
Right.
populate each of them? Like it would be a multi-step activity. It's not like you
Mm,
would just prepare it in one go. So
correct,
if you were
correct.
to prepare an AI agent, you would do
Mhm.
competitor analysis, and you would say, find the segments and all that. There are
Right,
multiple steps involved. So
right.
you would actually divide that initially,
Mhm.
plan it at your end, and then come up with a workflow. Just like how you perform a task, you would kind of
Mm,
plan it out sequentially, or however you do, you put it and see like where you could actually leverage AI. It's not like everything needs an agent, but maybe
right.
especially because it is related to generating content, which is LLM is perfect for that because it generates great content and it does research. And I mean, we use tools like Perplexity to do some research. In fact, it's
Correct.
an agent which gives you, after doing some thinking, analyzing, it goes and searches the web, get researches some content, and then it gives back you the output, right? It is an agent which is doing all these things. But
Correct.
I'm not talking about a product strategy as such.
Yeah, I got that.
Yeah,
But what I was checking about is when would you use a multi-step reasoning, model versus a multi-step reasoning approach where you use mid-tier models versus when would you use a high-end model when you say strategic planning? Is it about heavier tasks, more components involved? That's when you use the high-end models. That's when you call it, or categorize it under strategic planning. And if it's
yeah.
a bit lesser on tasks, then maybe you look at multi-step reasoning.
Yeah. I think let's stick to the basics first. I think what you're talking is more I think at some point you would yourself be able to come to judge when you need it.
Mm,
So let's just focus on the basics right now. And as we progress, you will see that, I mean, in the slides I did mention about a beginner, intermediate, and advanced. And as you progress further, you would come across these things where you would need extra high level agents. This is where
mm,
you would be applying your judgment. That's why I just touched on it.
sure,
But yeah, to make everyone like feel comfortable with the basics, I think let's uh,
sure.
get back to
Yeah,
this.
sounds good.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Thank
Thank you.
you. Thanks. Any other questions related to basic stuff?
Abhishek has his hand up.
Okay. Yeah, you
Hi,
could ask.
Kiranmayee. Am I audible?
Hi. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, just wanted to confirm one thing. I don't know if it's basic or if it's not, but like you mentioned that we had different types of models we can select based on the purpose. Is
Mhm.
there a some similar kind of mapping for different types of frameworks that we use to create an agent? Like, can we categorize based on that?
Yeah, I think there are resources who actually can provide what are high-end models which are good. But actually, in my own presentation, I mentioned about one slide where I kind of went through this. So OpenAI has three models that is they're offering for free trial: ChatGPT 4.0 mini, 4.1 mini, and 4.1 nano. So the 4.1 nano is the very basic one. It doesn't do like heavy reasoning on logic. Because it is low weight, it is ultra fast, super fast, but like memory and context very limited. It doesn't allow using tools, and it doesn't support multimodal. Now next level is like mini, which is like moderate. I mean, if you want very moderate reasoning, reasoning is like if you are providing multiple tools, like the LLM is actually reasoning which tool to pick. Now not every model can do that. So this is where you will have to, okay, I'm actually going to pick some provide multiple tools. I want to pick the right model based on my query. So for that I need good reasoning, so I would be picking 4.0 mini instead of like a nano or this one. Like if you are picking very low basic things and you're trying to do high reasoning, it wouldn't work. Like you would see that it is not working as expected. You would figure it out yourself, and then this is where you could do further research. What tool actually provides you the desired capability, and you will have to research which model is right for you. And if you are using tools, like you would definitely not use the model which doesn't support it. And like multi-model, like if you are using images or videos, like you would not use basic stuff. So this is like a small example with the OpenAI models I gave, but this is something that going forward you would be keeping in mind. If something is not working, you would actually see why is it not working, because it doesn't have that capability. You'll have to dig deep there.
Got
Does
it.
it
Thank
make
you so much.
sense? No
Yep.
worries. Cool. Let's get back to um, okay. So I'm going to go through these things, building something, and I'm actually going to give you as homework assignment to try out these things today. Register to NA10. It's very easy. You just go to get started and log in through your Gmail or whatever email. You will get 14-day trial. And I actually had a video with that as well, but I'll show you. So basically, you would have OpenAI credits. This OpenAI model, if you go here, you will see this NA10 free OpenAI API credits. You need to claim them. And in fact, I'll share the screenshots for how to get through this. But what I'm trying to say is use the free credits that OpenAI offers you, because if you go and log into OpenAI, they charge you like $5 per month, or like for some credits, which I don't want to actually. I mean, whatever I'm trying to use tools without paying, because I do not know if I'm going to be a going to use it for a long time. So for this basic session, try to use the free trial N8N and also the OpenAI credits, 100 credits that they offer you. And with this 100 credits, like these three are the only models that they provide. And if you want to use any other model, then again, you'll have to pay for it. But for now, I think we should be okay with this. Does it make sense? I hope so. And a couple more things. When you are actually logging in, you will have a first project. Like in my case, I created this personal assistant, and stay in that root project. I'm hearing some background noise. Is it just me?
Yeah, no, there's background now. Somebody's not muted.
Okay. All right. I think it's better now. So we are in this personal project, and if you see this, you would actually see there are some links for templates, variables, insights. We will be actually working on this project thing, but I would just go through. I mean, this admin panel is for your settings. You can explore that, not major. But I think I will go through these templates. They provide tons of templates here. If you are trying to build something from scratch, you might struggle a lot. I highly recommend you use the existing templates to start with. Um, these are like, let's say, if I'm going to just click on this, they have nicely provided the setup steps, how it works, and all that. All these templates have this. You could just use for free, and you can import the template into your own workspace, or you could actually copy the template. This is a JSON file. You can save it in a text pad as a JSON and import it into your N8N. So highly recommend using these templates instead of like starting from blank blank workflows. And variables is something at least we are not going to use in this basic series. Maybe like for future intermediate or advanced levels, this is applicable, but for basic stuff, you wouldn't dive too much into this. And here is where we create workflows. Just I created my own folder here for automations. I just wanted to talk about automation and AI agent. So I think in my first session, I talked about deterministic automations and probabilistic AI agentic workflows. So not everything needs AI agent. if something can be done simplistically using automated features, go for it. I think you can achieve the benefits without over engineering. So in this, you would just use nodes. So nodes are like small piece of logic. They, like you will see all these nodes. Basically, they offer you some service, or they provide some kind of logic. You could just provide some input. It will do the processing and give you the output. And there are tons of nodes like Google provides. I mean, there are nodes for Google, like you can see this. These are all like trying to integrate with the APIs. I mean, if you want to actually utilize these services, you would have to connect through APIs. Now, if externally you want to connect to an API, like defining inputs, outputs, like what your expectation, it's difficult. But here, if you want, like you could just, it gives you some user interface where you would just like connect with some credentials, and you would just provide some, like what are you trying to do, like here for this Google ads, it's setting up a campaign, or you are trying to get all the campaigns set in on that Google ads. It's providing you nice user interface which is easy for providing the inputs at your end, and it will in the background it will do the logic and give you the output. This was difficult in without having a UI, like Postman you would use some APIs, call them. But now uh, now this is not just Google, like let's say LinkedIn. So we are trying to connect between different across different companies, or like they might be providing their APIs. Now it's possible to interconnect all these resources from various places. That's the beauty of it, integrating with different tools. And N8N actually provides easy way of integrating them. So this is just a small automation where I'm trying to send an email. I'm going to go through this next week, this automation, but why I took it now is basically if you're trying to get some benefits, it could start with automation before you actually get into AI agent. If you hit some wall and you feel that there is something that you need to use capabilities of an AI agent, then go for agentic workflow. But prior to that, try to automate what you have and then make human judgment there. That's what I'm trying to get you at. Now, N8N also provides a small AI agent where you could get started. You will see this one. This is agent node. I'll just show you. It says start by saying hi. It has one node. It says when chat message received. You could actually enter the chat here. Like this is the user interface where you can enter chat. This is connected to the AI agent. The connection is like shown here. And this AI agent, it has to have a brain, which is a model. In this case, we are using OpenAI um, uh, GPT-4o mini. And then now it's not having any memory or tool connected. This is where we are getting started. Let's see what what it has to do. It says start by saying hi. Let's see. If you can see, it's executing the agent. It executed this model. And if you see, it has used 277 tokens, taken 2 seconds, more than that. And it gave me some output saying, can you see this? I hope it's better now. The output says, let's start with the first step to give memory. Click the plus button on the agent that says memory, choose simple memory. So let's we did this. No credentials needed. This is a small memory. It just saves like 5 past interactions. Like if I say my name is Kiran, next time if I ask, it would give me what's my name. I can ask. It will say your name is Kiran. If I don't have this memory, it cannot remember. Like if I ask, let's say in here, what is my name? It's it's saying click the plus button on the agent and add tools, choose Google Calendar. Now it did not say I do not know your name, but it said this. Why? Because in this AI agent, they have set the steps to follow, what steps to follow. And this is a tools agent. So within the agents, we have tools, conversational, OpenAI, plan and execute. So these are all different agents. Right now, I'm just trying to use a tools agent because I want to connect to one tool like Google Calendar. It gives some description. You can go through those things as well. Like when you are choosing what type of agent do you want, you can again go through them. What is the difference? If you're trying to achieve something, it's not doing something, dig into these details. So if I actually copy all of this and go into my notes, yeah, it has these many steps to follow. And it has some JavaScript thing where it is having like, okay, it's checking is the memory connected to agent. Just trying to see. Okay. Uh, I hope you can see the screen. All right. There are several steps here, steps to follow. It's checking if the agent is connected to the agent. First step. If it is not, then it is saying stop and output the following. This is what we saw in the output. And end of output, ignore below. This first step was followed. And next I asked, what is my name? It did not say, I do not know your name, but it said again this thing. Click the plus button on the agent and say tools. So it went to this next step. So there are like 8 steps. Now after connecting the tool, it is checking if it is Google Calendar. And if I actually enter some event, these steps are followed one at a time. And this is the user message. And you can also see some are green and some are in red, because until this one, it is green because it actually could connect to memory and the calendar. Now, if tool type Google Calendar has credentials, this is not defined yet. It's not connected to tools. That's why it is shown in red. Now let me just connect to tool, this one, and find Google Calendar tool. It has connected. Let me go back and see what it says. Open the Google Calendar tool and set operation get many. I hope you are getting what I'm trying to demonstrate here. Like it's already showing this is red. If I click on this, basically I need to select some things like, okay, in Google Calendar, it is, I'm checking for events from list. Now I have some, I want to check some events in my calendar starting from now to 1 hour. So this is like my Google Calendar tool is now set. You did not see the red button now because it is set up. The steps in this agent, like in the user prompt, it is going through each step one at a time and it's turning green. When everything is set up, then you would not see anything red. So basically, your skill matters in how you prompt. Your prompt, like before the user can get any like processing done, is the user providing the right information, or is the user actually setting the agent properly? You are actually ensuring this. This prompt is something that AI did not just populate it. It's something that you are doing it. So your prompting skills matter here. And to begin with, you can actually go through this and understand like it's a step by step process and how it is checking, like the AI model is checking. It is understanding when to skip, when to stop, and what output to give. So go through this, it will give you some idea. And the system messages, if you're using Chat GPT, you would say you are an N8N expert. Please provide me the best models to use for reasoning from Google. It will give you some output. But that is like in the upcoming conversations, it will remember that it is an N8N expert in particular chat. So that is like system message. User messages, you are querying it. So these things matter, like what agent you are choosing, and like source for prompt is like you are using this user prompt here, defining it here, and the system message is for the agent, what it is like, how can it provide you best best response. This is what you're defining here. And you're connecting to some model for brain, simple memory, so that it retains. If it's short term, use simple memory. If it is long term, you might have to use some databases, which is not part of the beginner series. But for persistent memory, you could use databases. And finally, tools, like if you want to do some actions, achieve something, you can connect those tools using this one. And on the left side, you have this input where like we have connected the chat message. It is sending a session ID, and also like whatever input we are sending, it is sending it here. We're not using any variables as of now, but there are some internal variables that are being sent. So it is showing you those. So this agent is taking these inputs and following these instructions like the based on the prompts and responding back to the user. Based on these steps, I am getting these outputs. Like you can see when you execute this particular agent, you can see the output uh, like this here. Does it make sense? Am I uh, going at a reasonable pace or too slow, too fast? Anyone?
I think it is good. Yeah.
It's good, Kiran. I think we need to play with the tool to get a hang of it, because just by seeing it won't help. You need to get a feeler of how this works.
Exactly. And that's why we are doing like 4 weeks, because I mean, it's difficult. I mean, in the past, I did 1 hour session totally. I must totally confess that I felt like it's not sufficient. Even to begin with, you need to understand like what are the components, what is it the UI is offering you, and where do you have to pay attention. You need to kind of get an idea before you actually start playing with it. So today I'm hoping that you will like register into this N8N and start playing with this very first, like after you register in your root project, you would see like start from a basic thing, you will see this, and you can start experimenting just like how I was showing. Yes, Mohammed.
Sorry, that's a mistake. Thank you. Thanks.
All right. You had a question?
No, that's okay. I clicked it mistakenly. Right.
All right, no worries. So you can see this in the logs. You can see how it is executing. It is using the memory, and it is accessing the OpenAI model and also the memory. Now I have actually connected this thing. Now this is set up. Let's execute again. Like how does it? Right now, whenever we are using models and all that, we don't pay much attention to these tokens. But as we like get advanced or progressing ahead, these are the things that we need to keep an eye on, because at some point, like, we need to check for return on investment. It's not just about building them, but are we really benefiting it? We need to check those things. So, and the information is very limited if you see in this, but there are platforms like if you see Google Agent Space or their own ADK, they have much more observability and monitoring stuff where we can see how things are executing and all that, but they are pro code tools to begin with. That's why we are going with N8N again. So let's check. It is saying open Google Calendar, set operation to get many. So yeah, event, basically I need to get the events in this calendar. Yeah. All right. When it is executing, you can see that it is showing what, again, like what it executed. Double click on this before and after. So this is basically we are letting the model define these things. It's asking me a different question. Would you like me to check all events for your calendar for tomorrow? Now, we have actually, it went through all the steps defined in this prompt now. It came to this question. If you see, if all the steps are completed, output the following. Would you like me to check all the events in your calendar for tomorrow? Let's say I will change this to today. And I will just I will not add anything today. Yeah, let's say this one. And I will go and ask again. Would it change from tomorrow to, yeah, for today? Would you like me to check all your events for today? I changed it in this prompt. It's reflecting here. Now it will answer. If I say no, it won't answer me. It won't give me anything. All right, if you need further instance, please. Nice. That's the LLM talking here. Now, if I say yes, okay, it did not. Okay, let me say yes again because this is the latest question. So it actually called, if you see this, it called the calendar now and went back to the LLM model. Now it actually got some output. This is, I have a party after summer party after this. So it and there is another one, AI prompts. Yeah, and if you see, I did not provide any formatting thing for it. If you actually see at this output, it's pretty decent. Like here are the events for you today. I have a couple of them and decently formatted. So that's the capability of the LLM model. And you can see like how it executed. You can see this being called. So this is how you can get started. And I for today, I would like you to get started with this experiment and also like do a little more research on the different models. And in my own, every time you do some changes, try to save them. They're not automatically saved. If you don't save, you will lose them. So pay attention to that. And yeah, this is one. I just like on top of it, I just did this one. Let me execute. What events do I have next week? I just modified the same thing a little bit so that it can provide me more results, not just hard coded today, tomorrow. Okay, I got some error with one of the models, and this is how like okay, credentials. Um, Sometimes the credentials like you might have to um, refresh because the tokens expire. So you would get some errors like that, and you could always go and check saying clearly this was the input, and now I'm trying to populate it in Google Sheets. This is an extra step I added in the original AI agent. I did not have anything to connect it to Google Sheets, but I connected it, and I'm just like it shows me output. If you are stuck, you can also ask like AI for helping, like it's an assistant and it and offers this. You can check for answers. Uh, okay, so this is how you can get started, and yeah, like you can see the error here. It says permission denied. You can sort out with the credentials thing there. I hope this is resolved. I did connect it, so it should have resolved. Yeah, and maybe this thing is
I
okay.
think you need to click on execute step, right? At the top? No?
These things like I changed some of them and I did
Oh,
not
okay.
update them. So it
Okay.
would show, yeah, it would show you. So now I made the changes. Let's save it. And yeah, basically in the notes, if the setup is not right, you would see some red thing like this. And let's execute. What events do I have this Saturday? The original one, it was just like hard coded to one date, but I actually made some change so that it could check any of my things. Okay. I think this one, uh, the service is receiving too many requests from you. Quota exceeded. All right, this is a different era. But basically, I have a spreadsheet where I'm trying to update like information. So yeah, like you would have your spreadsheet where you can update some things integrating to Google Sheets. So this was what I tried to achieve with that same agent. I think you could give this a try at your end, and you can have tons of resources, but unless you try, it's not going to be easy. So I definitely recommend you get your hands dirty, and go through like the components, like what prompts are being used, what models are used, and explore the models that you have. Like here, there are some models that are initially first step you could trigger, or you can actually call it from external resources. There are various ways you can schedule. Yeah, like here we are using a chat message. So you have different nodes, and AI agent nodes you have. Again, these AI agents are also like if you're using tools, you have tools agent. If it is just conversational, you have a different agent. Try to explore them. Next week, we will execute a little bit advanced compared to this agent, and we will try to send out an automated email or uh, do some task with this agent. So I'm going to ask some questions based on what we covered today. Just like last week, you could answer them. That is how you get your badge for this week. I'm going to share a Substack link where you can complement whatever we covered today, the YouTube video, and complement it with your Substack thing. And if you have any queries, ask ChatGPT and dive deep into some of the things where you feel like I have got some questions which were more advanced and I could go deep into it, but it's just that I'm focusing mostly on the beginners. But again, the more questions you have, reach out to ChatGPT, and this is how we are going to develop the skill. It's not like me like showing you everything step by step, but helping you get started and keep going. That's the ultimate goal of the series. Hope that made sense, and I'm open to questions now.
Pooja, you have your hand raised up.
Yes. Thank you, Padma, and thank you, Kiran, for the session. Two
Thank you.
questions, quickly. First one for Kiran. Uh, I'm just trying to connect the dots going back a step. So now what we did was we created an agent, we associated a tool of Google Calendar to it and tried to retrieve events. Can this be a workflow instead of an agent where the calendar itself is a node and you just try to retrieve? Do we really need this in an agent uh, way of doing it?
Exactly. So I touched on this, but let me go back again. Um, I've shown one of the automations where I was this automation is simply doing like it's checking the email template from like I have some email template. In fact, this is something that you might be receiving emails about the session slides and all that, whoever participated. I want to send out an automated email so that I have it in the spreadsheet. And if you go back to my workflow, I'm getting the email body, which is HTML formatted, and I'm going to get the registered users. If you see this, I have the like
We can't
another
see the
sheet.
screen yet, Kiran.
Oopsie, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Let me share my screen. Uh, where do I have the share screen? Share with disk view. One second, I'm a bit lost with this. All right, I can share it. Can you see my screen? Yeah.
Yes.
All right. All right. I have a Google Sheet where I have a template of email, how it should be. Basically, you were receiving some emails saying that thank you for registering, you will be getting a badge, fill this form. So, basically, a template where I have like a recipient name and some placeholders. I'm actually retrieving that email body from that Google Sheets, and then I'm also retrieving some users. Maybe let me just some users like this. Uh, Again, saved in my right now. I'm showing you a test thing, but I do have registered users, and then I'm actually looping through each of the registered user a small logic to make sure that the email address is right, otherwise it fails. Just putting in some validation logic there. And yeah, If it is a valid email, then I'm actually personalizing in the sense I'm removing some placeholders with the recipient name and other things. Finally, I'm sending the email. I did not use an AI agent in this workflow. This
Yeah,
is
yeah.
pure classic automation, and I don't need any AI agent. So if you actually can do something without using AI agent, perfect, go for it. But now let's go back to our this AI agent. I- You have seen me asking it questions, and actually you have seen that it gave good responses. The summary was too good. Like, it's actually OpenAI did it, right? Um,
So the difference in this situation is where you can query the calendar, which is a tool to give different variants of answers, like for today or for a week later. So when you have a use case like that, where you need the LLM to modify the response, you can use an agent here so that it can act as a tool and retrieve it from there. But whereas in a workflow, it's just a simple smooth flow. You know the input and this is what you need. You're not varying your query as such. I'm just trying to get my understanding right, Rana.
yes. So
Oh,
here in the AI agent, we actually retrieved the Google Calendar invites, and we are trying to have a personal assistant. Now, this might sound like a personal assistant, but there are tons of companies who actually monitor their emails, and they do a lot of tasks related to summarizing what they have received, especially if they are a business and they get a lot of client emails and they can't keep on top of it, like spending a lot of time on actually going through the emails. Then this is perfect for improving their productivity. Like, they can use an AI agent to summarize these things because LLM is providing you that capability. If you are using a normal automation, it won't give you the summary. The LLM is actually, that's the capability that you are using here, like OpenAI model. It's creating, I mean, I did not like, if you are chatting something in chat GPT, it's giving you such a nice format. Even if we are writing something like our thoughts, we don't put them in a structure that is like easy for others to understand. But if I'm sharing something like this in such a structured manner, it's easy to actually collaborate with others. Communication becomes very easy. The AI like model is actually, I mean, previously this was not the case, right? Like summarizing and whatever knowledge work. I mean, in software companies, when you have requirements and all that, so much knowledge work going on. People are so busy with their work that they don't want to spend much time on documenting even the, if you talk about Jira, like if they want to populate all the requirements, if you see some tickets, they would be all blank. But imagine you are leveraging AI to actually collect the requirements and populating it in a nice way in the tickets. How easy would it be to actually implement those things for the developers? Knowledge work, I think AI agents can do a lot there, especially for summarizing or using some other capabilities. Um, there are use cases there, but depends again, like what are you trying to achieve? If it is just automation is sufficing you, then fine. But if you are looking for more benefits, like you want to save time, or you are scaling up for more business, like right now you are a small branch, you are expanding and you have tons of other branches, and you want more control on getting summaries and all that, then leverage AI. So you would realize when you would want the AI capabilities, and that's when you um, jump into agentic stuff. Otherwise, if automation is actually doing the stuff that you need, I think you are still good. You will realize yourself that you are hitting the wall and you need agentic capabilities. That's when you start exploring. Again, when you are exploring the AI agents, you would again check what model you need and how efficient it is. And if it is like over engineering or these things, you have to think. It's not like AI will provide you the best solution. This is where human judgment is needed.
that was helpful, Kiran. Thank you so much. And the second one I had was if we could get, we did get some learning to do for this session, right? So if we have anything for the next one, if we could get a little earlier, that'll be better, because we just got it a day ago and probably couldn't complete it. So if we can get it a little earlier, probably after the session or in a day or two, that'd be very helpful.
Yeah,
So that
I
we
think
can be prepared
yeah,
for the
last week I did not give any home assignment or anything like that. It was more like a warming up session. And there was a question, I think 6 questions I asked. It was basically to just see that you got what was the main thing I was trying to convey. It was just checking that, and that was it. But I think today the form, I think I will share the form tomorrow maybe. I have to go out, but the Substack link and the video, I think they will be available as well. But please, I think N8N resources, you explore it, like the site itself, like the templates and the basic agent, you start with it. And next week, we will actually go through another workflow, and we will also go through some questions you might have. And it's like building some confidence. And honestly, we are going in a direction where there are some tools coming up where you just prompt it and it's building AI agents in the background. But the thing is, these are good for non-technical users who don't want to customize them. But if you are actually trying to customize them, at some point maybe you need to have some knowledge how these work. N8N gives a nice visual feel, and it helps us understand, like you can see a lot of things going. In fact, like in the editor you saw this executions I have executed is this, like I can see what happened, how it is executing, how many tokens, input, output, and all those things. Like you can even for debugging initially, it is helpful for you to understand how it is working. And yeah, and at some point you will outgrow this N8N, like maybe if you are technical and want to try hands-on coding, I think you will progress to coding tools like Amazon or Amazon Bedrocks or Google ADK. But yeah, let's focus on the beginners for now.
Sure. Thank
So,
you.
no worries. Thank you. All right. How are we doing? Any more questions? All right. I think,
I have one question. Maybe it's just an example, like in the workflow that we have.
uh-huh.
Currently, it gives only the calendar events for a specific date that has been encoded. If we would like to take into account what the user says, like in the chat, it says I want the calendar for today or for tomorrow, for the day after tomorrow. How does
Yeah. Yeah. If you actually
it done?
saw the user prompt, I mean, let me just share my screen again. And if you actually saw these steps, mm, like there were these many steps, and it is hard coded. It is like, would you like me to check all events for tomorrow? This was hard coded. Now I actually made it like today and then changed this. Now in my own agent, in fact, let me go back to the agent again. In this one, let me go back to this one here and see. Yeah, in fact, I've removed all the steps in this one. And I said, today is this thing. Ah, this reminded me another thing. We use this today date because the LLMs are trained. I mean, it's not like they have the latest stuff. If I don't provide today's date, it would provide me emails from the past, like 2023 or maybe what was date in LLM. So it's important that you use today's date so that you are keeping it. You're using the real-time data from your Google Calendar, but LLM, it is pre-trained and there was a cutoff for that pre-trained model. So to make it like use the latest today's date, you just mention this one to so that it stays like up to date. I mean, okay, and not like you're training it until today, but it will check the dates in the Google Calendar. It will check the dates accordingly. What is today instead of like what is today in the LLM as per LLM. So I've just used this much query. I removed all the steps that were there in the original thing. And I'm just saying the Google Calendar to retrieve the event from the calendar tool and update the Google Sheets. So I changed this prompt. That's why I could ask it like, what are my events this Saturday or next week? So basically the prompting is something that you would do. And this is like how you prompt it. This is a skill as well. Um, the demonstration was to understand that your prompting skills are needed, especially in defining the user prompts as well as system prompts, and how you actually make the agent do the reasoning or something like that. Another thing is we keep saying that AI agents are autonomous and all that. It's not that it is by default. As humans, we are designing it. It's a design pattern, and we are making it work autonomously by providing these things, basically the brain, I mean the LLM model, some memory, and also the tools to interact with. Ultimately, it's us controlling it. It's just a puppet, but sometimes it can become unruly, and we need to keep an eye on that. That's what I wanted to say. Cool. Any other questions?
So from my question, my previous question, what you said is in the system prompt where we need to basically, you said, direct the puppet to tell the to forward what the user has requested, so the LLM can decide which day, or how does it sit down to
Yeah,
for the
if
agent to
the
check?
yeah, user prompt is you are querying the agent, and system prompt is what is its role and what it should do. Like the prompt is it has a role, it has a goal, and what it has to do, how it has to respond. That you are going to define in the system prompt. It's for the model. And these things are the prompting skills, like you will have to, if the AI agent is not doing as you want it to, there could be something like not right in the prompting. So you will have to refine them. If it is not picking a tool correctly, maybe you did not provide the tool names or descriptions properly, that it is unable to distinguish the tools by itself. So you need to help the AI agent do that tool picking properly. So that prompting is where you do that. And I think when you actually come across some issues, you would realize that there is something in sometimes like the models might not be great at reasoning or picking the right tools. Even the prompt is like sophisticated. It could happen like low model cannot work on a highly complex prompt, or the high-end model can actually work with even a uh, small, well-defined prompt. So these differences you will start noticing with different models and the prompts. Sorry, I couldn't. Honey, I couldn't hear you properly. All right. I think, Padma, if there are no questions, I think we are good for today. The home assignment is,
Just thank you very much for the answer.
thank you so much for all the questions, and I hope this was useful to get started. And last week was a warm up. This week, you are trying to get into it and start exploring the templates. Look into the like existing models, try to import some templates and see like how comfortable you are, and experiment with the basic like whatever we covered today, you do it yourself. And if you are really comfortable, try to do something challenging from the available templates instead of doing from scratch. I don't think it's a good strategy to start from scratch, because the prompting and all that, they are like really skills that we need to master. And from the existing templates we can get good reference. Otherwise we might struggle, and I don't think it's really needed to struggle when we have some references. So templates are great place. Yeah, that's it from my side for today.
Great. Thank you so much. Thank you for the class. It was great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Please send us the slide and the recording of this class. I was on the phone and I was hoping to review it later. Thank you
Sure.
so much. Amazing
Sure.
presentation. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a good one.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you. Padma?
Yes. Thank you so much, everyone. Everything is recorded, and I'll be sharing the slides, the recordings, and even the form over the next couple of days. Thank you so much. See you guys in the next session. Thank you. Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Kiran.
Thank you. Have a good one. Bye. Bye.